Hey guys, I'm back with another video. It's another training camp video. This one is the NFC East, and it's the same format as I did last time. So let's get right into this one. Alright, so let's start with the Dallas Cowboys. Their biggest position battle is really a whole unit, as in their secondary. This offseason, they basically lost everybody. J.J. Wilcox is no longer there. Brandon Carr is no longer there. Barry Church is no longer there. Morris Claiborne's no longer there. And now they have to figure out who's going to start? Or who's just going to be in that secondary? I've never seen a situation like this before, and I don't know if anybody else has, where basically a whole unit is an entire different team, basically. The whole unit is entirely different. So, I don't know what's going to happen. And their biggest storyline is, how are they going to be this year? As in, are they going to regress a little bit, or just stay at the consistent level that they were at last year? Because that was unbelievable. They had the #1 seed in the NFC. They were 13-3. That was a great season that they had. So what can they do? Well, for an encore, can they not necessarily get better, but can they stay at that level, get back to the playoffs, or are they going to regress, have like an 8-8 or 7-9 season, or even worse? I don't know what's going to happen, but this Cowboys team is going to be very interesting to watch in 2017. Next up is the New York Giants, who have John Jerry, DJ Fluker, and Bobby Hart fighting for the right guard and tackle position. This is very important to the Giants because Eli Manning, he's in his mid-30s now. He doesn't have a lot of time left, and they really want to get back to the Super Bowl with him. So they have to find a good job of finding solid starters on that line to protect him. Now, their biggest storyline is their head coach. What does Ben McAdoo do in his second year as head coach? Does he have him competing for a division title, or are they going to have a sophomore slump with him? Alright? I don't know what's going to happen. The Giants team has always been, one year they go to the Super Bowl, the next year they can't even get into the playoffs. It's always tough to figure out what's going to happen with this team. And McAdoo, he has to do a really good job of getting his team ready for the season so that they can compete for that playoff spot like they did last year. We'll get a good idea of what kind of team they are in training camp and in the preseason. Next up are the Eagles, who, like the Cowboys, they have secondary issues, but it's only at the corner position. Alright, they cut both their starting corners from last year, and now they have to find the starters this year. So what they have to do is they have to really think about this, because you have Dez Bryant, Odell Beckham, and now Terrell Pryor in this division. You have to find solid corners that can shut them down. And their biggest storyline to me is Carson Wentz. Alright, Wentz had a very solid rookie year. He showed promise. Now he has to show that he is the franchise. Alright, he has to take that next step, because in your first year, you show promise. That second year, you start to show him, I am the future. I will be the franchise for this team. I will take them to the playoffs and make them a contender. That's what he has to start to show. He doesn't have to show it fully, but he has to start to show it this year. He has to get the Eagles in playoff contention this year. Finally, we have the Washington Redskins, who have a running back battle going on between Robert Kelly, who took over when Matt Jones got hurt last year. He did solid work for them. And then Samaje Perine, who they drafted in the 4th round. This is very important because if you don't have a solid running game, you don't really have a complete offense. And take a look at past Super Bowl winners, and they all have a solid running game. So while we devalue the running back position, the running game has not been devalued, if that makes any sense. Because it's still very important to have a solid running game if you want to get to a Super Bowl or even want to get to the playoffs. And their biggest storyline is their quarterback, Kirk Cousins. He's on the franchise tag for the 2nd year in a row. Okay, we don't know if he's going to sign an extension before the franchise deadline, which is July 15th. We don't know if he's going to leave after this year. We don't know what's going to happen with him. Alright? If he puts together another really solid year, does he leave? Okay, this could be a distraction for the Redskins heading into training camp, because you don't know what's going to happen with your quarterback after this year. So Washington, they have to do their best to really figure out what they're going to do about this situation. Alright, so that's all the teams from the NFC East. The next division is the AFC North. And I'll see you guys for that video.